Ringside Rumble Radio here on Spreaker.com and free on iTunes. Anthony the Ant-Man alongside Keith Logan the Loganator, who is still trying to work on Periscope here. Dude, give it up today.
I got to work on my phone.
Give it up today.
It's on my phone. I'm going to post. We're going to post this. I mean, it's going to be old, but I'm still going to post it.
We posted that we would do a simulcast pre-show on Facebook Live and on Periscope, which I was going to do the Facebook Live. Loganator was going to do Periscope, and the Periscope was not working. So it took us about 15 minutes to try to figure that out. And at that point, I said, forget it. Just forget it. Let's do Facebook Live, and that's it, because I already had it up. I already had it going. So we did the Facebook Live. I apologize again for the delay, as this is a first time for both of us using these things. But hopefully the Loganator can get his Periscope working. I will continue to work on Facebook Live. But this is Ringside Rumble Radio. You can follow us on Twitter at Ringside Rumble and like us on Facebook by searching Ringside Rumble Radio on Facebook. So there's that. And boy, maybe one of the biggest weeks in WWE in a long time, Loganator.
Where do we even begin?
What that sigh, is that a good thing? Was that a bad thing?
No, it's a great thing.
Are you tired?
I mean, no, I'm not tired.
Or was the sigh just because of the Periscope?
No, Periscope seems to be working on my phone, so I'll get that up and running. But let me just tell you, if you're a wrestling fan, it just got a little bit better, I think.
It's exciting.
It's extremely exciting. I mean, people were starting to complain and talk about people being held down. We saw a few releases of superstars, but now it seems like, hey, the dust has settled a bit. Extreme Rules is over.
Yes, the excitement began Sunday night at Extreme Rules, which we attended. We got there early, got to pregame at the bar across the street, which was fun. And going in with all the fans who were so pumped up for this pay-per-view. They were so ready to go. It was great to see the fan interaction going on there. And we get inside. We have their little pre-show that they had going on. And probably one of the biggest pops in the WWE for Big Cass, who came out to a huge pop. And I thought they would actually bring out Enzo. He comes out on Monday. I thought they would have brought him out Sunday since they were in New Jersey.
I thought the same thing. I mean, Enzo, his home state is New Jersey. I was hoping for it when the beatdown began between the Dudley Boys and Big Cass. Everybody was like going crazy, starting to chant the whole Enzo. But unfortunately, he came out the next night.
And deservedly so, got a huge pop on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, yeah, he got a huge pop. He did his promo. A couple haters.
I love that. Couple of haters. Couple of haters.
He was running around like a madman, but it was fantastic. I loved every part of that.
But let's get into the pay-per-view itself. We had them do the pre-show. Right after that, Baron Corbin took on Dolph Ziggler in a supposed no disqualification match that we saw nothing of no DQ involved.
See, I was telling you this throughout the whole night. I was like, isn't this pay-per-view called Extreme Rules? Then why isn't there wasn't really much of anything extreme until you got really pretty much to the main event.
And you know I've been a big backer of Baron Corbin since he came up. But I don't know if they're not putting him in the right position, or it's just every time he gets to have a match, he'll either lose to Dolph Ziggler, or when he wins, the win really doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had a no disqualification match. This was a time for him to play the dirty heel. And of course he gave him the low blow, but it really didn't matter at the end because it just wasn't. There was no big. They didn't use any weapons. I mean, the pay-per-view's called Extreme Rules. They did none of the sort, and it could have just been a regular one-on-one confrontation.
I agree. It's a big win for Corbin, but at the same point, like I said, where was the Extreme? Where usually we see at least maybe a table, maybe a chair, maybe, I don't know.
We've got nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And that brings me to a point, before we get into the rest of the card of the actual pay-per-view event itself, my two biggest problems with Extreme Rules is, one, it's called Extreme Rules. You can have a match, those no disqualifications or weapons matches or cage matches, you can have those matches on any pay-per-view on WWE. I think they need to reevaluate the name of that pay-per-view and maybe change it going on along in the future, because Extreme Rules has a name from driven from ECW and those types of matches. And I know we're in a new PG era or the new era of WWE, but can we change the name from our Extreme Rules? That's one of my problems. And the other one was, as we got home, I definitely felt like when I rewatched the pay-per-view that they filtered a lot of crowd noise, a lot of crowd reaction, because what you saw on TV, if you were not live in Newark for that pay-per-view like we were, and you did not hear the crowd reaction to Roman Reigns when he got into the ring and when he left, you missed a lot, because they booed him out of the building.
Yeah. And funny thing was, I was watching, also, I rewatched the whole pay-per-view. We talked about this before, but I don't think I mentioned this part to you. But I watched the Usos match. Same thing. The Usos, they got booed like crazy when we were there. I mean, you and I were booing as
Booed
well.
by association.
But even when you rewatch the pay-per-view, they were trying to drown out the boos on that one as well. And it was kind of like, really? You're trying to just sweep everything under the carpet so you can still cram down to our throats that Roman Reigns is the guy, even though he's not a bad guy, he's not the good guy, he's just the guy. But if you were in Newark, you knew exactly who the fan favorite was that night, and you knew who was the heel. And everybody went nuts when AJ Styles came out. Everybody went nuts when
the New Day
came out. Everybody, there were so many baby blue shirts in the crowd. I couldn't believe how much New Day, how many Bootio boxes were around, how many unicorn horns people were wearing. Also, another person who got a big pop, I don't know if you feel the same way, I feel Kevin Owens. He got a huge...
Kevin Owens always gets a big pop.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in that match, that Intercontinental Championship match, got a pop except for The Miz. But
yes,
we'll get into that in a second. Let's get into the actual card of the pay-per-view. First matchup was Usos versus the Club, or if you want to call them the Bloodline now, as the Usos like to be called. A victory for the Club in the Tornado Tag match. It was a pretty
I thought that was a good match.
Start.
Yes.
The Club rightfully got a victory.
I found that it got the crowd hot. It kind of, you had the Baron Corbin and Ziggler match kind of fell flat to me. I mean, Ziggler,
people were still getting into the arena at
people
that
were
point,
still
so
getting
it was good
in.
to just start it with
Yeah.
that one.
And then before that, like we said before, the Dudleys, I think that kind of hit the crowd that were there already. And then Baron Corbin and Ziggler kind of just mellowed everybody out just a little bit. And then you had the star of the show. We even got a few Cody Rhodes chants beforehand.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody heard that on the network.
There was a couple of Cody Rhodes chants, and it was while Eden was getting ready to announce the first match on the pre-show.
Yep.
And even she was pumping her fist. She also has been let go by the WWE. They granted her release as well, so we'll see if they combine to go somewhere else together, or is Eden done with wrestling forever? Because we know Cody Rhodes isn't done.
Oh, yeah.
But in our next segment, actually our third segment of the show, will be about Cody Rhodes and Adam Rose and the releases and what's going on with that.
But I just found it cool that people recognized him and were still giving him a chant, even though they knew he was gone and he wasn't at that.
We know how talented Cody Rhodes is.
Oh, everybody does.
They just pushed him in the wrong direction, like they do with a lot of the superstars.
But we'll get into that later. Once you got to the main card, like I said, that match I felt was really hot. Fans were really into it. They were booing the crap out of the Usos.
And the Club was huge.
And the Club got a huge pop. Even the match was good. I mean, it seemed extreme to me because they took it outside of the ring. You had guys hitting the barricade. One of the Usos, I can't remember if it was Jimmy or the other Uso was thrown overboard, and
they threw him over a boat, right?
Over a boat. So it was a great match. I would have to give that at least a B+.
The thing that's great about a New York, New Jersey crowd is we know the indie scene of wrestling. So we've seen Carl Anderson, we've seen Luke Gallows and the AJ Styles and the Kevin Owens. So we tend to, wrap ourselves around those wrestlers and, cut out the BS of like the Roman Reigns of the world and the John Cenas. So going from that to then going to Monday Night Raw, which had a kind of a flat crowd to me. I don't know if it was like that live or they did the switcheroo like they did on Sunday on TV. But going from a raucous crowd in New York or New Jersey or Philadelphia or Chicago and then going to another place like they did on Monday Night Raw where it was just like kind of, a little too stale for me.
See, I would have kept Raw, put it at either the Garden or somewhere else.
Or in Philly. They're in
or
the tri-state
Philly,
area.
yeah. Or
Keep
even
it close.
down even Atlantic City area. You always get a decent crowd over there. You could have done it in Atlantic City, but I mean, I don't make the show schedule, I guess.
No, you don't. You do not work for the WWE as much as you think you do. But yes, the club gets the victory over the Usos in the Tornado tag match. Next matchup, Rusev defeated Kalisto, as we expected, for the U.S. title. We didn't see Rusev on Raw on Monday, so I guess on Smackdown, actually, he defeated Kalisto again.
Yeah, I watched
Good
that.
for Rusev. Now it's time to push him as the U.S. title and to push that title.
Yeah.
It kind of took a backseat when Kalisto won it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I feel that they're going to go down. We talked about this last week, how John Cena, he's coming back, which we'll get into later, but I think, unfortunately, they're going to go that route again because with Memorial Day on Monday and his return, why not have him try and go up against Rusev, the anti-American, for the U.S. title? And it's already been done, but I feel my gut is telling me that, unfortunately, it's going to happen again, and they're going to have another feud, which I think that feud that ship has sailed. I think he needs to go into another feud with somebody else and try and build him back up to the big brute that he once was.
Bulgarian brute.
So
the one thing that's missing to me is Lana's not talking anymore.
No. She's kind of just taking a
It's
back
like a side
seat.
piece.
Yeah. So it's to my point, like, what, are they punishing her because of all what happened, or they're going to move her as a wrestler? Because I know there was talks about her down the road being one of the top females, divas, even though they're getting away with the divas, but kind of that diva era type wrestler. So it will be interesting to see. But the match was great because, like I said, they built Rusev to be this big, giant beast, and he took out Kalisto. He hit the side of the apron, and the referee, you see him trying to, like, no, back off. And Rusev's getting all mad. He just kind of finally grabs him, puts him into...
Folded him like an accordion.
Oh, my God. I thought he broke him in half. And he won the title. And it was great. He got even a pop. People were cheering for him. I know I was cheering
because people want some change, and it's good to see Rusev, who's so talented, actually, get back that push because and he looks great too. From when he started to now, he's more muscular than he's ever been.
Definitely, 100%.
New Day with the pop of maybe one of the pops of the night.
Yes, definitely.
Defeated the Vaudevillains in a decent tag match. Some nice spots from both teams. Big E launching himself through the ropes onto the floor was a huge spot there. Of course, I did not think the New Day was going to lose this match, especially after losing at WrestleMania. Yeah. I did not think they were going to lose the tag team titles. I don't think it's the Vaudevillains' time yet. I think we are going to set up a possible... maybe a feud between either the New Day and Enzo and Cass, but Enzo and Cass